Hey, welcome guys. I know some of you are starting to trickle in now. We'll be chilling out for a few minutes here. No starting screen or anything. We're just gonna hang out for a little bit until we fill up a bit more. Yeah, welcome back everybody. As you can see, it's all blank behind me. I'm moving, so my whole sanctuary has been torn down. Yeah, you hate to see that. Yo, Nick's good to see you, brother. Yeah, we're probably gonna hang out for probably like upwards of 10 minutes. So nothing too spicy yet. We're gonna go over all this stuff. Yo, what's up, AJ Mac? Good to see you, bro. Missed that background already. Yeah. I feel kind of naked without it. Let's see what we got on YouTube. Actually, quite a few people. Yo, what's going on, guys? Robert, C Daddy, Samuel, Devin, Alex, Jacob, Julius, T Swizzy. Glad to see your channel and the project growing. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to be talking about it today. I think I've cooled off a little bit. And, man, I need someone to vent to, guys. I want to just talk with you. I'm going to play some of the classic WoW OST in the background. How's that volume, by the way? Is the music too loud? Is my voice okay? Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, Jacob? Yeah, we're going to be going over it soon. Let's just let it fill a bit. What's up, Street? They're definitely trying some changes to see how people react. If this goes over fine, we'll see more changes. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I actually have like a splitting headache right now. After reading all this stuff and talking, had some heated discussions and stuff. But I have to stream, man. I have to talk about it with you guys. I don't know what to do with myself. So let's just give it a second. Def staying on Bloodsail now, right? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Yo, what's up, Doondan? I'm down for a GMA soon, brother. Yeah, long overdue. Your cam looks a bit too bright. Yeah, it's pretty scuffed, my setup right now. As you can see, I have no background behind me, nothing. I'm moving. I'll be out of the house. I shouldn't even be streaming right now. I basically just took all my computer parts and just slammed them together. And my desk looks like an absolute mess right now, but just had to get the stream on. What's up, Vigo? YOLO Zolo? Whatever you choose, got to keep the hype alive. Don't be a doomer. I'll keep it in mind, brother. We're going to go over everything and just try to get on the same page. Have you played New World? I've been wanting to. I tried on the first day, but the queues were insane. I think I was in queue for about 8-9 hours. Then I did finally get in. I played a little bit. I went to AFK for about 30 minutes, and then I got kicked out, and then I came back to another queue. It was like 7K, so I'm just kind of over it for now until the queues get better. Yeah, I know the cam is scuffed, boys, but who cares about what I look like? Let's just go over all this stuff. Moving off the farm, that's a separate property. I'm talking about our Bay Area property. We're moving out of here and growing out of it. We have a kid now. Okay. Give it 5 more minutes, and then we'll talk about it. Just let it fill up a bit. The queues in New World have been scuffed, yeah. Was wants to screw up this fresh experience with pathetic XP increase. Yeah, it's like with anything in life, right? There's always counter arguments, and it's so hard to just have a clear opinion about anything because there's always counterpoints, and like this, there's pros and cons. But we're gonna go through everything as thoroughly as I possibly can with you guys, and just give you my take for whatever that is worth to you. Probably nothing. At the end of the day, I'm just a fucking washed up streamer, so. Yeah, pros and cons, man, pros and cons. We'll go over it in a second. Do you still think you'll have fun on Classic Fresh? Yeah, we'll get into that, man. Yo, Glenn Crow with the tier 1. Thank you very much, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is this? What's up, Corporal Hicks? How we doing, man? Yeah, a lot of news today. As you've been seeing, Grays is streaming, a bunch of people talking about it. Stay Safe's talking about it. Bayo's talking about it. I assume everybody's talking about it. Yep. Why aren't you using dark mode? Yeah, it's a good question. It's because, like, I'm never signed into these browsers, so, like, they're all just always in signed out default mode. Probably right, though. Yeah, we'll get into it in a second here. I'm just waiting for it to fill up. Just 3 more minutes or so, and we'll get into it. What does the banner on the bottom left side mean? I was testing that out. It's just a fun additional layer of gamification for hardcore, a bit where you could show some of your favorite achievements that you've gotten in hardcore. I don't have many, as you can see. I just leveled 2 classes to 60. There are people with way more ones. You can go mortal pets and all types of stuff. I thought it'd be kind of cool that, you know, people, their proudest ones, they could put it there on stream in a little area, almost like a chest candy on like a military uniform or something. But I was just experimenting with it. But yeah, it's a pretty scuffed stream, man. I just pretty much put my computer back together after I'm in the process of moving right now and just press the go live button. So I have now implemented that banner. The screen would be filled out. Yeah, you're not wrong. Every class. Ragnaros, line art almost done. Drop it on Discord. Oh hell yeah, that's your Twitch, Faker. Nice, man. Faker is from Brazil. He's a really talented artist. He's been making designs for us for the Road to Raganet. Thanks for keeping it $1.78 earlier on the call with Grace. Yeah, I felt a bit bad after I got off it. I just felt like I was a bit intense, man. But we'll be talking about all of it though. Just give it like 2 minutes. Yo, Hull Shark 1, thank you very much for the 14 months. Over a year of support, brother. Thanks very much, man. If 10% XP stop you from enjoying Fresh and saying you won't play it at all, just stick around, okay? I can tell you're a little heated already. Just stick around. Like, at least hear me out on this, okay? Saying you won't play it at all, I don't really understand. Why does leveling faster affect you playing the game how you want to? Some people like to rush to endgame, but I think a lot of the angrier community is the hardcore community who enjoys the leveling experience, but that is by far the minority. Yep, stick around, brother, stick around. We're going to talk about all of this. I hear you, I really do. Ultimately, this is bigger than hardcore. Hardcore is a passion project of mine. We've been working on it for 2 years, but I'm talking about preserving art, preserving history. So it kind of goes a bit above just the hardcore stuff, and I could have fun on Fresh. I could have fun. I could play with the boys, and we would find a way to have fun on that. But we're just here to talk about everything, every pro and every con. We need to be all on the same page about these changes, but we can all agree that your Twitter should be in dark mode. Yo, what's up, Silver? True. Isn't it kind of weird though? I got no stuff behind me, guys. I'm in my naked room. I had to paint all the walls. Yeah, 1 minute. T-minus 1 minute. TBC has level boost and a storm out. Why are they okay, but this isn't? Ooh, man, this is gonna be some fun ass conversation, man. Yeah. We'll talk about it. This Blitz Classic Fresh will have XP nerf. Yeah, we'll talk about it, bro. We're gonna go over what they put out line by line and talk about it. And just please know it's coming from a good place, man. I've been in the Classic community long enough, hopefully, for you to see that I love this game. Maybe a little too much. Maybe to the point where it's a bit culty at times or whatever. But I do love Vanilla WoW. It is the game of my life. It has been up in its own tax bracket. You know, it's more than just a metagame to me too. Classic WoW, like at its core, Classic WoW is atmosphere, it's music, it's ambience. It's not rank 1 pushing on all brackets. It's not getting rank 14. It's very simple. It's killing quill boars out in the Barrens. That's ultimately the most value this game adds to my life, you know. And I could see myself if I was very stressed or feeling bad about things. That's what I return to. That's what calls me back. So just know it's coming from a good place, man, or else I wouldn't even be pressing the go live button, man. Okay, yeah, it's been 10 minutes. Okay. So let's bring it up. Here's their Twitter. I made this post. This is what I said. Faster leveling is a massive disappointment, to be honest. I can't help but feel like you're making changes to the formula to appeal to the tourists as opposed to the people who really do love vanilla. What a bummer. As you can see, I got ratioed. Where is it? Somebody said, like, oh, you're in the minority, and it had, like, 100, like, hearts. Or something like that. Where is it? I've tweeted, like, 10 times in my life, man. I'm a bit of a boomer. Where is it? I can't even find it, but yeah, someone said you're in the minority, and it had... Oh, you're the minority. Oh, look at that. 161 hearts, man. I'm trying, boys, to, like, have an open mind, but at the same time, balancing that with trying to be honest, right? Because me complaining about things, it really doesn't do anything, you know? Like, it's not really advantageous at all. You don't get more followers, you don't get more subs, you don't get more viewership. You just kind of look like an idiot when you complain on the internet. But this is like something I care about, guys. So like at some point there is a line in the sand where you speak up, right? And I'm just gonna just keep it 100 with you guys, and for whatever that's worth. Leo Snipes, man, you literally don't know what you want out of World of Warcraft. You were hyped for TBC, you quit Classic, then you started making BC guys and started hardcore. What's next, Wrath? Oh, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, what you just said. Yeah, you can be into TBC, you can be into hardcore, you can be in all things. You can play all of them concurrently. You're partially right in the sense that I don't think anybody knows exactly what they want out of life at all times, and people make mistakes. But just if you're just honest about it, like, yeah. Yo, Corporal Hicks, thank you for that prime. All right, let's go to the let's go to this coming soon thing. So this was put out today. Yeah, see this, okay? Greetings, adventurers. WoW Classic Season of Mastery is coming, giving all players a chance to start fresh and a level playing field. This time around, we're planning hashtag slightly more changes. Okay. Yo, bye. Thank you for that. Thank you for that tier 1, brother. Fitch with the tier 1 as well. Thank you very much, Fitch, guys. I appreciate you being here. Okay. Slightly more changes. Okay, so, on a positive note, every time people come into stream for the past year and they ask me, yo, Cargos, if you could make one change to Classic WoW, one single change, what would it be? Right? Yo, Crix, I'm moving. I had to paint all this. I had to take the whole man cave down, man. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, it's just temporary. Like, my computer was in pieces. I had to throw it all together. But anyway, to get back to the point. The one change I said, and I have said, and I've been consistent with it, is I always wanted seasonal WoW. Coming from a private server background, like of just that cycle of like a new server spinning up and playing on it, and then, you know, it kind of like winds down, you go to another one. I've always found that very fun and enjoyable, and how all the different private servers would have like a slightly different way of doing things, and like that sort of culture of fresh and looking forward to like a new sort of cyclical cycle of, you know, WoW servers throughout the year. It was always fun. So I always saw massive value in seasonal WoW. It's been something that I've dreamed about, and I'm still excited about. You know, this gives, especially the PvE folks out there who are really into raiding and pushing content and min-maxing, it turns that whole side of the game into like a skill set, because it's repeatable, right? It's like a game of Dota as opposed to just you do it one time and that's it. And I've always tried to look at WoW in that way, and WoW Classic in that way, just like a giant elongated game of Dota, you know? And you know, people say, oh, why would you want to do that again? Why would you want to get gear again and level again? Well, why do you play another game of Dota? You have to level up again. You have to kill the same creeps in the creep waves again. Get the best gear again. You know, get your Blink Dagger and BKB and all that again. So that's a positive. I think that's very exciting that they're for the first time ever starting to think about WoW in like a seasonal light. Turn music down a little bit? Yeah, sure. Hopefully that's a bit better. Yo, Midian live with the Prime. Thank you, man. Your mic got a little quiet because of the stuff missing in your room. Yeah, let me try to pull it out a bit. My setup is so scuffed, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me look at the chat real quick. Okay. So, let's keep going. We will launch new WoW Classic realms for Season of Mastery. This is such an extra thing to tack onto the end. Again, I really do think we're at a turning point where they're starting to view WoW and the value of doing seasons, almost like Diablo. These realms will invite new and current Classic players to begin fresh at level 1 for a complete reset of WoW Classic's content, starting again at the very beginning of the World of Warcraft saga. What's different in WoW Classic's Season of Mastery? By the way, all these changes we're about to say, it would actually make me feel a lot better, and I think a lot of you feel a lot better, if they literally just turned on Twitch right now in the Blizzard headquarters and just kept it at $1.50 and said, notice we're saying Season of Mastery, community. This means we're going to try these changes. Don't think that they are now canon permanent changes to vanilla WoW. This is an experiment that we're going to work closely with you guys on to see how it is. And, don't take any of these too seriously. This is, it's not fundamentally changing the game you love forever, always and forever, and this isn't the new normal, so that would help as well. But anyway, as with the first release of WoW Classic, we're planning 6 content release phases in WoW Classic Season of Mastery. However, phase unlocks will happen faster. We're planning for a 12-month cadence, with phases unlocking roughly every couple months. Here's the current outline for the 6 phases. So I always wanted seasonal WoW, and in my mind, I thought a lot about it, like what would be the best, like the amount of time per server. I thought 3 servers per year would be dope, but that's just such, I know a lot of you guys hate that, but maybe I have a little too much time to play WoW on my hands or something. But I would love just that level of churn and rotation, because the content's going to get cleared in 3 months, 100%, especially in 2021 or 2022. You know it's going to get cleared, and there will be, it'll seem more of like a game of Dota or whatever. And okay, anyway. So phase 1, WoW Classic Season of Mastery launch. You're gonna have Molten Core, Ani, Maraudon, PvP honor system, and Battlegrounds. So that's kind of nice that you're not gonna have to wait for PvP, right, in the ranking system. And notice there's still no Dire Maul in there. Phase 2, Dire Maul, Azure Ghost, and Kha'Zix. Refresh per year. Yeah, I think it'd be dope, man. There's probably more of that, more refreshes per year in the P servers, before it all happened. Yo, WoW HC gifting a sub. Thank you, man. They did actually listen to Cargo. Is impressive. I don't know if it was to me, Sec, but that is really cool that it is seasonal. Still don't think they care enough for the player's experience. The WoW should be about hanging out with your friends and not just grinding endlessly. Well, here's one of the points I'm going to make as we get further into this conversation. We are no longer living in a time, folks, where there is only one iteration of World of Warcraft you can play. You can play 3 in an official capacity. 4. No, 3. 3? You can play Vanilla WoW, you can play TBC, you can play Retail, and soon to be 4. It'll be this, right? So this will be like some like Frankenstein Classic Plus type thing, and there will still be Era. So it will soon to be 4. But my point is, I don't think Vanilla WoW, now that we have these other options on the table, and you don't have to just choose one, you can play them both or multiple at the same time concurrently. Vanilla WoW isn't the most amazing surgical game to like min-max and push rank 1 and drop, 100 parses in, right? Like you have TBC, you have Retail, you have Mythic Raiding, you have these other things that can do that a bit more effectively. Now you still can in Classic, but a lot of these changes, I basically feel they're trying to make changes to make endgame more of an emphasis in Classic WoW. When if you were to ask some of the old guard, people like Kevin Jordan and and John Statz and some of the people who worked with the original development team, and you ask them, you can ask them right now, you can send them a DM probably. You say how much development time went into the leveling versus the endgame. The overwhelming majority of time went into developing the leveling experience, and the endgame was kind of like icing on the cake that they stitched together, and it grew and grew in importance. But I do feel like we have this yearning, a lot of us, to go back home to Classic WoW. Why? Why do you think that is? TBC is out right now. TBC is a much better game on paper in many ways, yet a lot of people still feel that yearning to come back to vanilla. That's in part due to just the excitement of fresh. But there's other things to consider as well, which we'll get into. Hold on, I think a few subs went off. Yo, Grays with the massive raid. No shot, dude. Grays, yo, thank you so much. 450 raid. Thank you very much, brother. Purgatory with the tier 1. Thank you as well. Thank you very much, Grace. I appreciate it, brother. Grace for days, like a brother to me, man. I love him, man. I love him. Much love to you, Grace, and everybody too. The hardcore community. I don't have siblings, guys. I'm an only child, and I don't even get out that much these days, man. Out since I moved to California, so my closest friends, I can say, are really people I've met online, people from this community, man. So just know all this is coming from a good place, man. I want the best for us. All right. So phase 2, Dire Maul, Azure Ghost, Kha'Zix. Phase 3, Blackwing Lair, Darkmoon Fair, blah, 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 blah. I mean, the phases are kind of like self-explanatory. All right. Raid boss updates. The original release of WoW Classic was made to recreate the difficulty and challenge of patch 1.12 from the original World of Warcraft release. While we strive to bring a faithful recreation of that release, many raid encounters turned out to be easier than the first time around. Players were simply more experienced and prepared, and patch updates greatly increased player power. So I already have, like, believe it or not, I have an issue with this one paragraph already. And it's this. Yo, Shockward, thank you very much for that tier 1, brother. Here's my thoughts on this, right? So Baba Shershow said, when Discovery ends, Mastery takes over. Baba Shershow is a close friend as well. He's an original quest designer, made many beloved quests, like the Lincoln's Quest in the game. And he said, when Discovery ends, Mastery takes over. And I think, like, part of the appeal towards playing like Classic WoW and like Vanilla WoW isn't so much that the content at face value is super hard. It's not like mechanically the most insane thing. It's more about mastery, how well you can execute on that content, how fast you can do things, how efficient you can do things, if you're trying to play it in that light, you know? So already, like, is this a worthwhile effort to try to make the content at a surface level more challenging in Classic WoW? It kind of doesn't even matter. It's still going to be easy, right? You're just slightly less easy. But let me look at the chat and see what you guys think about that. Yo, Kigo, thank you very much for the 25 months, brother. So faster leveling was something players wanted on Classic Fresh. Go play TBC. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, yep. Mastery is now the surviving and completing. All right, anyway, let's keep going. With that in mind, we're planning a few changes to make those early. So already, do you think this is a good change, guys? To try to make Classic WoW at a surface level harder? Like, you'll see in a second, they're just making the bosses have more HP and stuff. But okay, with that in mind, we're planning a few changes to make those early raid bosses pack a bit more of a punch and attempt to recapture the original challenge they presented. These changes currently include, but are not limited to, world buffs like Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slain, others disabled in raid instances. So here's another thing. There is a percentage of people, I know for a fact that majority of you in the chat hate world buffs. You hate them. You think that they're terrible. But there is a percentage of people who love vanilla and are really into that vanilla raiding mindset and enjoying world buffs. And in their mind, it's almost like the hardcore challenge to them. I'm not one of them, by the way. Like, I'm not dying on any hill to keep world buffs in the game. But to those people, they like the stakes. There's something at stake. It's not just always value. It's not always just a gain, right? If you die with your world buffs, it's a big deal, and there's some sort of punish, and they enjoy that dimension of raiding in Vanilla WoW, and that is one of the unique characteristics, love it or hate it, if you think it's toxic or it's great, in there. So I do know some people that already, you know, that is kind of a bummer to them. So this is as opposed to having the Chrono Boon, is my impression, right? So there would be no Chrono Boon. What do you guys think about that? Do you think the Chrono Boon would be better? Or do you like just straight up no world buffs and raid instances? Because the thing is, you're trying to make these raids harder, but how much harder are they really going to be, man? Like, we're still going to crush them. You're just going to be crushing them slightly less. If that makes sense. Is Hardcore MC still happening? Yeah, it's still happening. I don't see why Chrono Boon wouldn't be in the game. Well, there's no world buffs in raids, yeah. No world buffs. Oxy, Oxy, thank you for that tier 1, brother. I like the Chrono Boon myself, even if I was able to get Rend with MC Cap. Yeah, I mean, one of the coolest things and the juiciest, tastiest aspects of Vanilla WoW, and if you played Vanilla WoW for a long time, you start to gravitate towards this direction, and it's like Fury Warrior. DPS Warrior in Vanilla is insane, right? It's like it's the Porsche, it's the Lamborghini, it's the Maserati, it's the high-end performance vehicle of Vanilla WoW, and it's incredible what they can do. You know, you see bigger numbers in Vanilla than you do in TBC. Maybe not anymore. But anyway, let's just keep going. Restoring mechanics that were removed early onto some raid bosses. This is interesting. I mean, this seems kind of cool, actually. Restoring mechanics that were removed early. That seems kind of cool. No boss debuff limit. Up from 16 debuffs in WoW Classic. So this one I'm kind of on the same page with, right? That does seem kind of good. I'm trying to rack my brain right now for what the con would be to this, but I think that's just kind of good, man. Like it'll allow for a little bit more flexibility in these raids. A little bit like, you know, there's some really, really bad things about vanilla in the sense where if you're a warlock, you really can't use half your kit because you're just relegated to only being able to use one curse. You can't use corruption. You can't use imp ISB even. Like, so that's kind of nice. Increased health on bosses to offset player buffs, and the removed debuff limit. Okay. Our intent with these changes is for the experience to feel somewhat more challenging than WoW Classic did in 2019. Okay. Due to Season of Mastery's faster content release cadence, we're also planning several improvements and changes. These include faster leveling. And this is really the main one. This is the main point, the main pain point for me. And yeah, we're just gonna try to like unravel it. The faster leveling, it really bothers me, guys. I have this PowerPoint I started making some points about. There's some miscellaneous points in no particular order. But I do feel like reducing the amount of XP, of making it take less XP to get to 60. What they're actually doing, if you see here, is look, they actually put Burning Crusade Classic in italics TM. They're planning to set the XP rates, at least for the quests, so that they are Burning Crusade Classic TM. I don't know, it almost philosophically bothers me, man. Because they're taking Burning Crusade and putting it into vanilla, you know? I almost just want to be like, yo, let vanilla be. The formula for vanilla leveling is proven. I think Melderon said a few hours ago, vanilla WoW leveling is an institution. I think a lot of us look back on vanilla and now like sort of value the leveling experience more. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you in the chat feel that way, right? Because now we can play TBC, just look back, and a lot of us miss it. And vanilla is like this comfy game. It's more of a sandbox, RPG, atmosphere, music, the vibe, open world PvP, whatever floats your boat. And that leveling is not the minority of content. It's not what you rush through to 60. It is the majority of it, right? It's like 80% of it. And then you have this icing on the cake that you can dabble in as well. So the implications of faster leveling, I do believe, are vast and far-reaching. I could freestyle a couple off the top of the head, but let's just think about it. So if it's faster to level, the world seems smaller, correct? You can skip zones. Maybe you don't have to go to Desolace. Maybe you only have to complete the half of Stranglethorn Vale. Maybe you don't have to go to, you know, Shimmering Flats or Ashen Vale, whatever. So you're missing out on a lot of zones, a lot of flight paths. But the other thing is that, so the world is going to feel smaller. And I was asking the other day, oh no, I wasn't asking. It was actually Ampi from Grizzly. He's just a gamer, man. He's not really into the politics or anything like that. He's just a gamer, and he keeps it 100. And he was talking in our channel, basically saying why he does miss vanilla and some of the issues with TBC. And let me know if you feel the same way. In his mind, one of the problems with TBC is that the world feels tiny. Even though these zones are inspired and they're colorful and there's rich and there's nodes and there's lots of stuff that you could potentially do, the fact you're flying around on 290% speed, or if you're on a glad mount, 320% speed, you're just zipping around the world. Like just takes no time at all, right? And it ends up feeling very hollow. So when the world feels smaller, Classic feels huge, right, compared to TBC. So the world feeling smaller, I think, is one atmosphere. They also, you'll see in this this post, they made it so summoning stones can summon people. And again, I feel like such a boomer saying it, but that's going to it's cheapening the world a bit, right? And I know warlocks can summon people, but in TBC, you see how lazy people are, right? Everyone just like kind of just can't be bothered, right? They'll just get summoned at the stone, no problem. And they're putting that in, you know? And a lot of the feeling I have towards a lot of these changes is just sort of like, there are two buckets of changes. There's like no changes, and there's like changes, which seems like an oxymoron. But, you know, there's some changes you could make to the game that don't feel like they're altering like the fabric of the game or the formula or the pacing, and there's some that do. And for me, leveling is very much one of those ones that feels like it's really like significantly altering the pacing of the game. So yeah, less flight paths, less zones experienced. What else do I have on here? Let me look at the chat and get caught up. Summoning stones will kill the game. Feel like less people in the world. Walking to dungeons isn't content. I don't know, dude. A lot of people think they hate leveling and can't stand it, but low-key kind of like miss it, or at least value the experience as a rite of passage, you know? And it seems like masochistic, to run to the dungeon. But like the formula, the sum total of all the factors in vanilla WoW make it a very special and the best game of all time. So it's just like a dangerous slippery slope if you start messing with the formula. Now, as a leveling Andy, if they just rolled back the leveling changes and they kept some of that endgame stuff the same, man, headache gone instantly. I'd be hype again. I really am. I would be hype again. But this really does bother me, boys, and I'm curious to get your feedback on it as well. And there's a lot more implications too. You know, I haven't even thought about this for more than a day, but weapon progression is going to be all kind of janky, right? Some stuff may not be worth getting anymore because you're just leveling so fast. You're basically leveling like you're in the Burning Crusade in Vanilla WoW. And when you think about Vanilla WoW as like the leveling place for WoW, like that's when leveling was at its strongest and the majority of the content. So when you reduce the experience, it feels like you're cheapening the experience. Thoughts? I know my camera's washed out, brother. I'm moving soon, so I have nothing in my room right now. Anyone saying just playing Classic Era is missing the point. Fresh is to play with populated servers. The majority of people wouldn't raid MC and Phase 1 without the faster leveling since it's going to be short. But that's not even necessarily bad, though. It doesn't always have to be about maximum accessibility. I do think that's another charm of Vanilla. You know, some people back in the day couldn't do Naxxramas, and it felt like there was people to aspire to be on the servers, right? And like, it doesn't always have to be the most accessible thing to every people at every single person at all times. Sometimes it's okay for things to take a while or to be a bit painful. My request, how can we maintain our fulfilling experience now? Stop comparing this to TBC. None of that says TBC Jesus. It's only Quest XP.
Fresh meat.
Yeah, but look, I mean, it literally even says Burning Crusade Classic TM. It just says it right here, bro. I mean, they're changing it to be more in line with TBC. WoW Classic Season of Mastery will have an open beta beginning on October 5th. We look forward to hearing your feedback on these changes and many others as we continue to iterate them. Look forward to seeing your feedback. Ah, man. Quality of life updates. In addition, we're planning on introducing certain improvements that weren't in the original WoW Classic release, but that we think can help create a better experience, such as meeting stones converted to summoning stones, increased mining and herbalism nodes. So, I mean, all of this stuff is just lending itself to accessibility, sort of cheapening the experience. They're trying to get people that wouldn't normally play vanilla to want to play vanilla again. Where selfishly, I would want them to create this fresh server and just have a nice home, a jolt of life for people that are just passionate about vanilla WoW, with all of its flaws. Because those people are out there. We're a minority, but we love the game. It's you know that would have been cooler to me, man. Where it was just a place to take care of those people and give them a server to look forward to and make it seasonal. So they would just re-release the server, and some people that's not going to be worth it for them. You know, like they're not going to want to play it again. But that's okay. There's TBC. There's retail. Bring Astarius back, yeah. I mean, with the hardcore stuff too, it's been feeling like we've been getting so much momentum recently too, and building up this community. We're getting these Nost vibes. It's a really wholesome and nice place to play. And now we're a bit unsure as how to proceed, guys. We're not sure if playing on Classic Fresh is going to be the play, or if playing on Era, which would be the existing vanilla servers. You know. So another thing that's a bit concerning about these new WoW Classic Season of Mastery servers is, in my mind, just being honest with you, it almost feels like they're cheapening the experience a bit, right? But what it's going to be is essentially, if you decide to play on Era instead of Season of Mastery, it would almost feel like you're playing the cheapened version of the game if you're playing Era, because the bosses will be harder on Mastery, right? And it'll be the most updated version of WoW Classic. What do you gain from a game that just launches seasons over and over? Cosmetic items? Yeah, no. It's achievements, clout, whatever. Just like in real life, what are the main key performance indicators in life? Fame, clout, reputation, money, all these success, whatever. Like, yeah, you're turning kind of WoW into a skill set. If you just launch the game at a base level over and over, maybe 3 times a year, twice a year, you have all the server first there that people love to chase on that side of the game. You have the original formula, so people can play hardcore. And another thing is, one of the strengths of Vanilla WoW is that it's a sandbox, right? Or at least it's the most sandboxy version of WoW, unless you guys can think of another one. So, this is making it sort of less of a sandbox, and they're sort of serving you the dish in front of your face and pushing you pushing you a 3-course meal as opposed to just sort of letting you go with the sandbox. And hardcore has been able to make use of the sandbox so we can adjust the difficulty so it's as hard as we want. You know, they're trying to make it like PoE with leagues. Oh, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for this, the seasonal aspect of it. I just, you know, this whole tirade can be summed up of, please get rid of this, man. Please get rid of the faster leveling. Leveling is the majority of the content in Vanilla WoW. Leveling, it is Vanilla WoW, man. It's just messing with it at all. Even in the slightest bit, it's worrisome, man. You know, what are the chances that we do get like a level 40 boost now with like a Venture Co Shredder mount or something? You know, anything is possible. Anything is possible at all. Leveling is the content. New blue post link. The HC community can make their own seasons, man. Don't throw away what you guys built for a hype job. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it, right? Like that. What's the play? Do we go era? If we go era, it almost feels like you'd be slightly rejecting this as the new and improved version of Vanilla WoW. Like, how many of you guys feel that this is? Oh man, I'm gonna get fucking depressed looking at the chat though. How many of you guys feel this is the new and improved, like just better version of WoW, just across the board? I mean, just look at Twitter, man. It's gonna be the majority of you. I just know it. But yeah. It's rough, boys. It's rough, man. I just feel like I just become more and more of a boomer, man. Just getting more and more niche with
more Quest
what
XP
I
kills
like.
the dungeon cleave meta IMO, making the world actually feel more alive during leveling.
More Quest XP. I mean, they can kill the dungeon cleave meta in other ways, right? They could do that. Or even if as scuffed as it is, the dungeon cleave meta, right? With hardcore, we can still, you know, the community can come together and make any game mode they want. It doesn't have to be hardcore. You could come up with your own challenge, right? And you could rally a group of people to enjoy the fruits of the Vanilla WoW sandbox. You always have peace servers on your side? Yeah. I mean, I just felt like we were kind of getting somewhere with Blizzard Boys. Like, I felt like we were winning hearts and minds, like starting to get conversations going with them, starting to have that two-way line of communication. And I don't know what the play is, boys. We had a mod meeting today for the hardcore stuff to try to figure out what to do with the Road to Rag. And there's no decision made at this point. Everybody's, you know, just trying to like sleep on it and not like, you know, have like a knee-jerk reaction. Let me change this gnome music. This reminds me of when they announced boosted 58s for TBC. You were the only one against it. You ended up being right. Nah, there were some other people against it, but yeah, I feel you. I mean, you did bring that up. I was watching BlizzCon live. I was streaming it just like now, right? I was with Def Camp Grays, and I had a knee-jerk reaction. I'm not like really great at concealing my emotions, as you can tell, right? Like, and I was really like upset by that 58 boost, and I almost got like borderline canceled. It felt like they put an S on my chest, the scarlet letter. People were saying, "Dude, you cringe, dude. You know, why does people's leveling experience matter to you?" And I almost got like shamed into silence. I felt like I just could, you know, if I was just being honest, it would just be bad for my channel, bad for me, bad for everything, bad vibes. So you kind of just go through this roller coaster of emotion and then just come to accept it. And you just, you know, drink some copium and then go on with your day and just go, it is what it is, man. What can you do, man? Multi-billion-dollar company. But, I mean, what do you guys think about TBC? Did the boost have impact on TBC or no? I mean, there are some servers that are still packed to the brim, but, I mean, do you feel that camaraderie with people on your TBC servers, man? For whatever it's worth, the PvP side of things is a bit toxic. It's a bit cold to the touch. I feel a bit demotivated to participate on the PvP side of things because it doesn't feel that warm, man. Like, there's a few people that look out for you, but I couldn't play TBC because of the boost. Absolutely had an impact on botting. Yeah, I mean, Vanilla WoW is a time-tested, proven, amazing formula. And it does have problems with it, for sure, but making these changes is a slippery slope, right? Because it suggests that this is a new and improved version of vanilla, and this is what we will see moving forward. And we're messing with the formula, right? the pacing of how fast you get a Voidwalker at 10. I mean, you look at TBC, right? And a lot of us tried hardcore on TBC. And for some people did enjoy it. Some people are still enjoying it. But there's some unknown reason, no one has been able to really articulate it that well, but the leveling in TBC just doesn't feel as good, man. I'm not exactly sure why. So that's what we're going to have in Classic WoW. It's going to be closer to that. I think they're only doing the values for XP. I mean, for quests as opposed to like mobs. But you know, it could end up being like a 30% difference in terms of the speed up to max level. We have Shamans for Alliance. I can't tell if Progress is intentionally avoiding the new blue post. No, I'm sorry, man. I just haven't been able to keep up with the chat. Can you link it again, bro, or DM me or something? What is the new blue post? I'll bring it up right now. How is HC a made-up thing when it clearly exists? What's the difference between this and new seasonal classic exist? What's the difference between this and new seasonal classic existing in its own realm? Just like TBC classic exists in its own realm in terms of hardcore. Hardcore and era will always be hardcore. Well, the thing is, if you want to play vanilla with the original values and just play it like it was back in the day, it almost feels like you're playing the cheaper version of the game. Now there's this new and improved Classic Plus style thing, you know? I mean, a lot of this stuff, though, I can live with, man. Is there anything here that you guys really can't live with? Believe it or not, it may seem so stupid and silly to you, but the two things that I would want to see pushed back on this are the meeting stones. I know it's insane. It's insane. I'm a masochist. Say what you want. And the faster leveling. I feel like these two things will reduce the feel of the world. They'll make them feel a lot smaller, and the pacing will be jeopardized. If Boost made you quit TBC? Oh, it didn't make me quit. I boosted myself, man. I'm equal parts gamer and entrepreneur. If I see a path of lesser resistance, I'm taking it. If they put XP potions in the game, I'm probably buying those. Maybe I have a problem. I don't know. I'm a gamer, man. Like, I'm gonna be playing with my friends, and I mean, maybe the XP. If it was XP potions in Classic, I probably wouldn't buy it, to be honest. But if it was like in Wrath or something, I mean, you know. But Classic, man, like, Classic is more than just, it's more than money. I don't care if people unsub from the channel. I don't care if they unfollow, if they think I'm crazy, if they think I'm a old boomer or whatever. Classic for me, it goes beyond just like the hype beast of a new fresh or a project. Like, it's art, man. Classic WoW is art. It's music. It's history. It's nostalgia. It's the game of our generation, and I don't think we'll see another game like it. Maybe for the rest of our lives, as weird as that is. You know, maybe we're just doomed to the context of our times. But messing with the formula of that game is a slippery slope, my friends. It's a slippery slope. What do you think of the toggle for normal versus increased XP? I just don't think people will. If you give them that option to have faster XP, myself included, I'll never, for the rest of my time playing this game, level with slower XP. Battle for Azara needs to be implemented. You should really stop talking until you read the blue post. All right, let me try to find it. Let me try to find it. Oh, here it is. Season of Mastery. Okay. I'll stop talking until I read the blue post. Good call, good call. By the way, this song slaps. Whatever it's called. Is this, yo, can I crank this, actually? I think it's coming. I hope when you listen to this music, you kind of realize it's not really about a meta. It's not about getting 99s or 100s or getting rank 14. When you're messing with like the leveling and some of these things, you're changing this. The music speaks more than I ever could. I can't say anything to match the music. I'm getting the blue post up right now. Yo, Shooter, thank you for that prime, brother. Which song is this? I think it's called, it's the Night Elf one, right? Something like Allude or something. Alright, let's take a look at this new blue post. Hello, there are a couple points we'd like to add to the discussion. We would like to make sure it's still viable to level alts in this accelerated time frame. Is this the one you're talking about, the new blue post? With that in mind, we're planning to take a look at mage boosting in the beta for this release. We have some ideas for adjustments we can make to reduce its impact, especially in its current hotspots like Maradon. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. The proposed increased XP gains are focused entirely on quest XP. We don't have any plans to increase other sources of XP at this time. This is it? This is what you want me to look at? I mean, yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying, don't mess with the leveling, man. Don't mess with the leveling, and I will shut up. I will crawl into a corner and shut up. You'll never hear from me again. Just keep it the same, man. You know, even if it's a 5-10% increase, whatever it is, 15%. Vanilla WoW leveling is an institution, man. Just let it be. It is the core element. It is the core element of the best iteration of this game that has ever been in the history of World of Warcraft. It is the core element that made it successful. So messing with like the pacing or the proprietary blend or all those factors that contributed towards that feel, bad idea. If you want to do experimental changes to Vanilla WoW, do it endgame, sure. Add focus frame, debuff slots, sure. But the leveling, what does this mean for Road to Rag? Loud music. Hey man, can you bear with it? It's let's see. Let's pick another slapper. Here we go. So there's a beta coming out in 5 days, boys. I'm not sure what the play is. I'm really not.
Cargos, why are you looking like a ghost, bro? Did you move?
I am moving, Classic Dale. Thank you for the 5. All my stuff was put away in boxes, and I had to reassemble my computer before we could throw the stream on, so we can talk about this. I don't know what the play is, though, guys. Playing on Fresh would be more hype. Playing on Fresh would get Blizzard support for the hardcore event, for the Road to Rag. Playing on Fresh would get more streamers. Playing on Fresh would have more people participating, more people watching. It's good for growth. It's good in all those ways, but it would also feel a bit weird as well. It would feel a bit weird. It has to be fresh. They should restart Classic Era at this point. We can cope with this after the blue post. Fire 5096 to be grinded only for hardcore. Play on old servers? Yeah, I mean that's the thing. We could play Era, but here's my like concerns with playing on Era, right? If we play on Era and we walk into Molten Core and we're gonna go fight Ragnaros on Era servers, and these new and improved Classic Plus fresh servers are out, and Ragnaros there's no debuffs on him, and he's harder and has like double the HP, it's almost gonna feels bad for us. They're gonna be like, look at these boomers playing on Era, you know. The new Ragnaros is out. Classic Plus is out. Imagine playing Vanilla WoW. Classic Plus is out, man. Why are you playing that old game, man? And, you know, that's a concern, man. I don't know. It would have to be like a real concerted effort from the community to almost just say like, hey, we like Vanilla WoW how it is. Yeah, it has problems. It's not a perfect game, but it's still the best version of the game you ever made. And you just play Era. But it's tough, man. There's no decision being made. I already talked with like, you know, a ton of the other mods and stuff, and we're just like trying to sleep on it and trying to not have a knee-jerk reaction or anything. You could have your cake and eat it too. Fuck Cargos, I see your point. Even though HC killing Rag is still hard as fuck, even on Era. Yeah. So like it's sort of like there's got to be like a analogy for it. But in my mind, like all these changes with the Season of Mastery are slightly just overall cheapening the feel of Vanilla WoW. But once this becomes canon and once this becomes official, the old version of Vanilla WoW that we all know and love and have played for many years, that's gonna look like the cheap one as well. So, I don't know. They just get rid of this though, I can live with everything else, man. I never really went to bat for the anti-boost thing. Maybe I should have more. I never really made a video, I've never made a tweet. Check my Twitter, I've tweeted like 7 times. I don't really... The more you complain on the internet, you're gonna have a reputation of being like a boy who cries wolf, you know? The more you complain and start drama. I'm using one of those strikes right now, boys. I think you have like 2 passes before people call you just whiny. I don't think I've ever used one before. I'll take one of those. I'll use one of those cards right now and just say, please, please, please remove this. Do people want to play Classic every year over and over again with Classic XP rate? Serious question though. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah. It's a good game. We don't know Classic Plus raids will be hard. Removing the debuff limit will change the meta. We don't know how it will end up being. Hard people acting like they will have the first new rag kill. No, we won't for sure on the fresh. He'll be farmed for like weeks and weeks before we step in there. They just want to make it easier to level alts. But exactly, where do you sort of end that though, right? Isn't that how we sort of ended up to where we are right now? Going for quality of life and convenience? Oh, I don't feel like leveling in TBC, man. Like it's inaccessible. So let me do a boost to 58. That's it though, boys. I don't really have much else than that. Just wanted to talk about it for a second. Why don't all have it all day, every day to level? You want them to make servers and seasons for the 1% like you? I would like them to make a fresh server with original vanilla WoW values.
We don't all have all day
Make it
every day to
seasonal.
level. You want them to make servers and seasons for the 1% like you?
I don't really have all day every day to level anymore, by the way. I have a new kid and stuff. I've been playing maybe like, a couple hours per day recently. Hopefully it gets, better. It gets better. I'll have more free time. But you don't need all day every day to level. And it's not all about endgame. It doesn't have to be this obsession with endgame. The game starts at endgame. I feel like, to go back to my original point, now that we have these different iterations of WoW to play, you have TBC, we'll soon have Wrath of the Lich King probably, we'll have retail WoW to play. The strength of vanilla WoW is that its leveling is incredible, the atmosphere, the music, and also it's a sandbox. So we're trying to make vanilla WoW more like something it's not, which is an endgame centric thing with harder bosses and ultimately, boys, this is not really going to change that much. Ultimately, if I'm trying to be as based as possible, this might only be like a 10% increase or something of leveling speed, but it's a bad omen. It's a step in a bad direction, man. So I would just really, really prefer to not have it. But who am I? I'm nobody. We're just gonna watch this come to. We're gonna watch this come to be, and ain't shit we can do about it. Hate to see it. Way she goes. Summoning stones. When can we expect a hardcore pre-stream? Yeah. Way she goes, boys. That's all I got for you, though, man. I just want to say my piece on it. It's out there. I don't know what we're gonna do, man. But your feedback and the love and the support is much appreciated. I really do. I love you guys, man. I do, man. Where if I met any one of you guys in real life and I found out you liked WoW Classic or something, we'd probably be like good friends, buy each other beers and stuff. So it's coming from a good place, my friends. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm gonna host somebody. I'm gonna host Peo. Peo's been pretty vocal about